So you're going to Tokyo and you're looking for some inspiration as to what to do. Tokyo is a bucket list city for most people, and I'm so pleased for you that you're going. In this video, I'm going to share a simple, stress-free itinerary if you've only got the day. Don't worry, I'll give you just enough options for you to make the most of your time there without the need for getting overwhelmed. We'll cover the must-see spot that's basically the law, you have to go and see it. We're going to go to a shrine for some peace, go down busy shopping streets, and finally the unexpected sake and Japanese whiskey tasting, along with some chicken yakitori that we came across by accident. I am delighted that we did. Let me set your expectations up front. You are not going to do everything. I'm sure you've probably watched a load of videos on Tokyo and are getting quite overwhelmed with all your options. I really do suggest picking a couple of things. Try and get them in the same area so you're not like spending half your life on a subway, and just keep it you're going to have to come back. That's the only answer. You're going to have to come back. We're in our mid-50s and I did not want to overwhelm us with a jam-packed itinerary that we would just get too tired and cranky, not being able to see it all properly and take our time and relax. You need to make time for the fact that you'll probably take a wrong turn somewhere, like getting on the subway line the wrong way around. We might have done that. But it didn't stress us out. That's the important thing. So let's dive into our one-day itinerary where we stayed relaxed, had fun, and I'm so excited to share it with you. I hope you have as fantastic a time as we did. So we'd just come to the end of a 14-night cruise that started in Seattle and then took its time around Japan. We went to 5 different ports. So by 8:30 in the morning, we had disembarked the ship and were in a taxi on the way to the hotel. On the back of the driver's headrest, there is always a laminated sheet that gives you the prices. Honestly, I'd done some research before we came and I thought, oh goodness, the taxis are going to be very expensive. That's what I'd heard. They really weren't. It was absolutely fine. The first kilometre is 500 yen. And then after that, for each additional 239, very precise metres, it costs you an extra 100 yen. Most of the taxis take cards. Some we found throughout our travels preferred cash, but they can generally take both. Just make sure you've just got some cash handy at all times. It just helps. So the hotel cost just over £100 for the night. It was really handy for the airport. We got a free shuttle there in the morning because we did have an early flight. So I figured that that would be the best place for us to stay. And we just take a minute to appreciate the receptionists that we had. They weren't very talkative. Okay. Good morning. We managed to lock our suitcases away. You can see Jim here trying to figure it all out. And then we were 200 metres away from the train station. So we managed to figure our way around buying a ticket. There are people around, always. There are people around. People are very willing to help you. So don't be afraid to try and do it yourself. We didn't bother getting a Suica card, which is one of these prepaid cards that you can get for Japan. We didn't feel we'd use it enough, so we just paid as we went, and really it's very inexpensive. By 9:30, we were on a train heading into Tokyo. We swapped at Shinagawa to get on the Yamanote line, which incidentally was started to be built in 1855. Incredible. It's a circular route that takes all around the city. A lot of the main attractions are on that line, so that's very handy. And now it seems to have become quite a tourist thing to do, to walk the Yamanote line and see all it has to offer by doing it that way. We certainly didn't have the time or the energy to be doing anything like that, but I think if you were here for a week, that would be a cool thing to do. Getting on and off the trains in Tokyo is just so organised. There are lanes for you to stand in, you know exactly where you're going to be, you know exactly where the door's going to open. It's just a breath of fresh air compared to home. After a small mistake of going the wrong way round the Yamanote line, we just quickly got off when we'd realised, and then switched platforms and went back again. And then our first stop was Shibuya. To me, you haven't done Tokyo unless you've been to the Shibuya Crossing, and I decided that it would be best to do that first because I didn't want to leave it till later, even though it would have been pretty at night with all the lights. I didn't want to leave it so that it was something that we might not get to do with timings, or we were just too tired, or you know, we got caught up in something else. So we went and did that first. So by 10:30 we were out of the Shibuya Crossing exit, and we went to see the Akita dog statue Hachiko. The story is that the dog became famous for his unwavering loyalty. He waited every day for his owner after work, even after the owner had passed away. Don't forget to look on the floor. All around Japan, we spotted a great drain cover here featuring Hachiko. It seems a strange thing to look at, but they are spectacularly decorated. The crossing wasn't that crowded. Again, we were blessed with glorious weather for October, and who would have thought you could have so much fun crossing a road? So we're going up to Starbucks on the second floor to get that view. These are all the limited edition mugs from Japan, the Been There series. See some autumn ones in now as we're in October.
Thank you. 215万キャラ。ありがとうございます。失礼します。ありがとうございます。いつもスターバックスアイスラテ。アイスキャメルシュー。
I wouldn't normally get coffee from Starbucks, but it was kind of one of those when in Rome situations, and you get a good view from the first floor, they call it the second floor of the building, over the crossing, so you can take your own overhead video. After our coffee, and a bathroom stop, of course, you have to take those every opportunity you can, we walked up to the Meiji Shrine. That took us about 20 minutes. You could hop back onto the subway and it would take you half as much time, especially if it's very warm, because walking out in the sun you can get quite uncomfortable, obviously. The Meiji Jingu Shinto is a Shinto shrine, and it's in a 200-acre park, which was lovely to just get some shade from the hot sun and some respite from the overwhelming crowdedness of Shibuya. This is the Torii Shrine gate. These sake barrels were incredible. They're wrapped in straw with the most fantastic detailed designs on them. Before you come into the area where the shrine is, you need to take a minute to purify yourself with the water. And as you enter the, well, it's described as a courtyard really, just look at the beautiful camphor trees that were planted there in 1920. There's two actually, you think it was one great big one, there's two, and they're known as the husband and wife, and they've become a symbol of happy marriage. You can see me here getting an omikuju fortune. You make an offering and then pick a number out of the box. A little stick comes out of the box with a number on it, and then you open the drawer with that number on and receive your fortune. If you like the fortune, great, keep it. If you don't, you can leave it there. If just neglected and never polished to a glow, even precious jewels would remain resembling dull roof tiles made of clay. There are also wooden tablets where you can leave prayers and gratitude and then put your own wishes on the back. And then you can go and pay your respects to the deities. You're not allowed to take video up there, hence I've just stood back a bit and taken this photograph. It was so peaceful, it was lovely. And then we came across a wedding, at least I think it was a wedding ceremony. So that was cool to see. Then if you have 500 yen to spare, I do recommend going and getting in a small queue and getting yourself a goshuin. It's hand-painted proof that you've been to the shrine. You can have a special book to put that they will paint directly into it. If you don't have one, like I didn't have enough cash on me. We'd run out of cash at this point. I just got one printed onto a piece of paper, and then I'm going to include that into my Eki stamp book. So after spending a couple of hours there, just across the main road from the park is the famous Takeshita Street. It's just something you're only going to see in Tokyo, so why not go and see it? First thing we did was to get something to eat in this cafe. Look at this ramen. So make your own ramen dish and then go upstairs, sit and eat. So we chose our food and from these fantastic looking drinks and went and sat upstairs. Oh goodness, that's lemon zing and a rush of sugar. So we spotted a queue and we think it's for the Okudo Cafe. Cat cafe, dog cafe, pig cafe. And I found, well, like a holy grail really, a gachapon shop, absolutely full of capsule toys. They're called gachapon. I could have spent ages in here. I just love things adorable like that. We picked up a couple, one for my mum, one for me of a little boxcar because I love them so much, and then we picked up some for the grandchildren, so we kept putting the money in the wrong one and getting different ones out, so we spent a bit of cash in there. They vary in price. They're between £2 and £3 each. Shortly after 3 o'clock, we found our way back to the subway just outside the shrine, and we decided to go along to Shinjuku. It's only a couple of stops away, back on the Yamanote line. You can see here that our ticket for there was only 150 yen. After another little mooch around there, we were ready to sit down again, and we found an English pub. I don't know how we always do this, but anyway, we went in and sat down, had a couple of pints, and talked to Kieran, who's out in Hong Kong, to update him on what we'd been up to. And then by the time we came out there, it was dark, the lights were in full swing in Shinjuku style. You don't know where to look. It's just so incredible. It really is everything you think it's going to be and more. At 6 o'clock, we thought, well, while we're here, we might as well track down the Godzilla statue that's on top of a hotel. I think on the hour it growls and moves. I'm not sure. We didn't stop for that, but that was fun to see. The Don Quixote, that if you've not been into a Don Quixote, do. I wouldn't suggest you do it in Tokyo because you don't want to be lugging shopping bags around with you particularly. But if it's the only chance you get to go in one, do go in. They are mind-blowing. I'm not kidding you. There is everything in these stores. It's just crazy. At 6:45 in the evening, we're starting to feel a bit peckish. So we look for somewhere to eat, but first we come across this really cool bar. There were like 3 people in there. You walk in, there's a guy behind the bar who produces a bowl of hot popcorn that he's literally just made there. We had a couple of beers, and then the guy behind the bar gets out the Japanese whiskey and sake and entices us to try some. He wasn't hard selling, he didn't need to, but that was fun to try that. Been talked into a sake. I wasn't expecting this much, but apparently it's only 15%. Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, I went with a slightly sweeter one. Well, we've got to get back to the hotel.
It's fine now. I reckon when you get onto the street, you'll soon find out how fine it is.
Jim's trying a
Habiki.
Habiki whiskey, which he doesn't drink, but there you go. They are smoking bars, and that was quite something when you've not been used to it. But anyway, there were everybody in there was really friendly. So we came out of there and decided to walk back to the station and maybe get something to eat closer to the hotel. Just before we were getting into the station, I just happened to look left, and I saw an alleyway that was just as I'd seen in my research. It's an area known as Omoide Yokocho. I don't know if I'm saying that right, apologies. I felt like I'd won the lottery because this was a place that I really wanted to go to, but I hadn't put it on our list of things to do today. I hadn't even researched where it was. So to come across it was just absolutely fantastic. So we had a wander around, took it all in, and then as soon as we saw a little place with a couple of stools free, we jumped in them and then enjoyed ourselves some yakitori chicken, beef, and then some scallops. I'm sitting right in front of this barbecue. It's hot, but wow. just when we thought we were going back to the hotel to pack. So by 9 o'clock, before getting back onto the train, do remember we had an early morning, down into the subway. These subway stations there's as much going on underneath the ground as there is above. They're incredible. Chock full of shops and restaurants, bathrooms, and then lo and behold, Jim came up trumps and popped into the JR Japan Rail ticket office and found me my final Eki stamp of the trip. I was delighted. He's found me an Eki stamp. In this huge station, he has found it. Oh my goodness. What a star.
Yes, here we are again. Another station, another Eki stamp. 15,000 steps to find this one.
No, it wasn't.
My mission for this evening is complete.
You did good. So as we made our way back into the hotel, we needed to check in because we weren't able to do that beforehand. It's all automated. You got a ticket, which is your room card. Try as I might, it might have had something to do with the sake, I'm not quite sure. I couldn't get it to work, and anyway, we were sorted out by one of the receptionists. Bit of a dinosaur. Lady. Let's see. Jesus.
I'm calling the hotel staff. One moment, please.
Yeah. Regards to comfort at the any hotel rooms in Japan are notoriously small. Some of them even concertina the beds up into a sofa for during the day, so you can move around the room and then come back down at night. Ours was down. It was very small. It was very hard, and we didn't get much sleep. But it was okay. We were at the end of our holiday now, and we didn't care. So, and there was a free shuttle in the morning to take us to the airport. So that was fantastic, really. So it wasn't long before 8:30 in the morning came, and we were boarding our British Airways flight back to Heathrow. So I hope I've given you some food for thought for your Tokyo trip. As I said at the beginning, don't try and overwhelm yourself and do it all. You just cannot. So pick 2 or 3 things that you want to do, and just have a look on the map to see how far apart they are. We did really well just to keep it in one area, and I was very pleased with that. So have a fantastic time in Tokyo. You're going to love it. Honestly, this was a bucket list that I didn't think we'd get ticked off. Holidays and tours to Japan are very expensive from the UK, but I do know now that I wouldn't need a tour. I would definitely do it myself. Book the flights, book the hotels, get on the trains, get on the bullet trains, hire a car. Fantastic and easy to do. The next video I will do is a wrap-up of the cruise itself. We cruised on the Quantum of the Seas Royal Caribbean ship 14 nights out of Seattle, and I will do a roundup of the ship. But if you haven't seen the other Japan videos, then go ahead and look at those, and take care. Happy travelling! To me, you haven't done Tokyo unless you've been to Shibuya. Oh my god, so cute. It's a proper blah blah blah. Painted,